What we need to realize is, firstly, as human beings, we all have certain traits which are negative. And at some times, we identify with certain things. So, for example, as human beings, we might have all lied. We might have all done something wrong. We might have all sinned. We might have all done this stuff. And I think certain things will fall into. So, for example, you might have a person that gets angry, right? And I'm sure everyone's felt angry at some time. But there's a big difference between someone who falls into anger once or rarely compared to someone who's angry all the time, right? And I think that with this topic, it's exactly the same as well. I think that there'll be tendencies where, for example, someone is self-centered, someone is fully focused on themselves or only focused on themselves or only cares about themselves. I think there's going to be times when, as human beings, we're all kind of like that, right? I think the problem comes when the balance is way off, okay? And really everything becomes about you. Everything becomes about your ego. Everything becomes about nothing else except you. And so we've got to be careful that we're not judging people based on what we think. Because sometimes, we read a description and we see a description of someone and we go, okay, that person's a narcissist, right? But the truth is we're not really qualified to do that. It's actually something that, people who are professionals and all these kind of things, they do it. It's actually like they say it's like a proper disorder and stuff. It's not just, randomly they're doing it. I think that because there's that level of narcissism, I think that hypocrisy would definitely be a part of it, right? Because you're the most important thing. So for you, the rules have to be different. Right? I can't have the same rules for everyone, and then I agree to that, and then I'm still like self-centered. No. For you to be truly self-centered, you have to have a different story for yourself. You have to have different rules for yourself, right? And you have to be of that mode where you're like, okay, well, this is different for me. So I think that there's definitely some element of hypocrisy in family. And whenever we talk about family, I'm always saying that, unfortunately, like there's very limited stuff that you can do in terms of family. If it's friends and people are behaving like that, I think what I would do with people that I care about, whether it's friends or family, I would make them aware of what they're doing, right? Either I would be like, I can just get over it and I'll just accept it and I'll just be like that, or I would make them aware of what they do. And then what I would do is I would try and pick maybe the worst thing, or the top 3 things, or top 2 things, which are the worst about that, okay? And then I would focus on those specific things. And whenever those things were done, then I would basically like remind the person, or I would work on that person. Okay, so I don't mean this in a negative way, but if you think about the way people train animals, the way they train them is they instruct them to do something and then they kind of like reward them or they punish them. And you imagine like an animal, they can get animals to do amazing things. Like you'll see monkeys who can do this, you'll see cats who can do this, and dogs and horses and all these things. They can do like amazing things. Why? Because they've just constantly been trained. And I think human beings, they actually have like a lot more sense, obviously. So really to train them is even better and even easier as well. Okay. However, I do think that I would pick the main thing. So let's say out of all the behavior, what is actually affecting me most? I'd say like this one thing. Okay. This is the thing that hurts me the most. This is the thing that affects me for days after. This is the thing that all that stuff, right? I'm like this one thing. So what I'm going to do is when this thing comes up, I'm actually going to make a point to discuss it and to do it. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that until this person gets it. And when the person doesn't do it, I'm also going to acknowledge and recognize that they haven't done it. So I think like it's all about just like picking your battles. Because if someone is like this, for you to try and work on everything and to try and improve them, it's too hard. So you need to like focus on one area and make sure that you kind of go with that area and just kind of work on it. I think you need to let the person know the impact that it's having on you, right? So not only that, look, don't do this, please, but when you do this, this is the impact on me. And when you do this, I'm going to remind you, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, all of those things. It does seem like some of this stuff might be to do with you as well, because when you started talking about narcissism, all this stuff, it feels like a very external thing. It's all about the other person. But some of this you might be able to kind of control as well, right? So, for example, let's imagine that you're talking to me and, you just keep telling me your problems, all this kind of stuff. I might say something like, look, I really want to listen to you properly and I really want to help you. But you know what? Right now, I really can't even focus on what you're saying. And I'm not even listening to you properly. So I really want to focus. I really want to listen. I really want to help you. But maybe we could talk about this a bit later today, because right now my mind just not in the place to help you, and I really want to help you. I don't think there's an easy way out. I think that if I was you, I would probably complain to Allah a lot. I would try and debrief and speak to other people about like the things that are being discussed, and I would just keep trying to do that right behavior where I'm saying to them that, look, right now I can't actually talk about this, and we can talk later and all this stuff. And I don't think there's a huge amount you can do, because normally what I would say to you, like for example, if you're saying this is a friend, I would say just limit the contact with that person, tell them that you're really sorry but you're not available and all this stuff, and just keep doing that, right? But because it's family, or it might be someone close to you and you can't do that, in that case I do think you just need to work on that person. You need to work on yourself, and you do need to be patient. There is things in this life that we can't control, that we're not happy about, that are really difficult, and unfortunately we just have to be patient. There's much bigger tests than this out there. I'm not saying this is not big or it doesn't feel big for you, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of stuff out there that people have to deal with, and they have nothing except patience. And that is the situation of a Muslim, really, that you do everything. And this is why I would say that I would try everything. I would have lots of conversations. I would try different techniques. I would send them reminders. I would do all kinds of things. But at the heart of it, I would know, like, I'm going to do what I can. But part of this might just be me being patient and me being trying to, even exert myself even more. Like, you do help them and then they don't acknowledge it, right? Or they say, like, you've never helped them, right? This is very painful. This is very painful. But at the same time, if you can get your mind in the mode where I'm doing this for Allah, firstly, it strengthens you, where you think, okay, I'm doing this for Allah, so I'm going to work hard. I'm doing this for Allah, I'm going to be patient. I'm doing this for Allah, I'm going to do it properly, right? So it really helps you there. Then secondly, when the person doesn't thank you or ignores you or makes it out like you did nothing, at that point, it's like, you know what? I did it for Allah. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they thank me, they don't thank me, they're happy with me, they're bad with me, whatever. The main thing is I did it for Allah, and therefore I'm going to get the reward from Allah, and that's enough for me.